Have you ever felt like your life is stuck on repeat? Like, no matter how much you grow, how much you change, how much you try, the same situations keep finding you. The same kind of relationship that drains you. The same financial struggle that follows you from one chapter to the next. The same feeling of being overlooked, undervalued, or just not quite there yet. And you look around and wonder, why does this keep happening to me? In our last video, we explored one of Florence Scovel Shinn's most powerful teachings, that your word is your wand, and that the language you speak every single day is either building or destroying the life you are trying to create. If you haven't watched that video yet, we will link it at the end of this one, because it is the foundation of everything we are about to go deeper into today. Because here's what we left you with. You now know that your words carry creative power. You now know that speaking from limitation calls in more limitation. And you now know that Florence Scovel Shinn, a woman who was a century ahead of her time, gave us a roadmap out of that cycle. But today, we are going even deeper, because knowing that your words matter is only the beginning. The real question is, why do the same patterns keep showing up in your life, even when you are already trying to change? Even when you are saying the right things, doing the work, setting the intentions, why does life keep handing you the same chapter with different characters? Florence had the answer, and it goes all the way to the root. In this video, we are going to explore her most profound teaching, the idea that your outer world is always a mirror of your inner world. And if you stay until the end, we have practical steps you can begin using today to break the cycle and start writing a completely new story for your life. Florence Scovel Shinn called life a game, not in a dismissive way, not in a way that made light of suffering or struggle, but in the most empowering way possible. She said that life operates by exact laws, and that once you understand those laws, you stop being a victim of the game and start becoming the player who knows how to win it. And the first and most important law she taught was this: your life is not happening to you. Your life is happening through you. Florence Scovel Shinn wrote, "The game of life is a game of boomerangs. Our thoughts, deeds, and words return to us sooner or later with astounding accuracy." Read that again. Thoughts, deeds, and words. Everything you send out returns. Not sometimes, not maybe, always, and with astounding accuracy. This is the law of the mirror, and it is one of the most confronting and liberating truths you will ever encounter. Confronting because it asks you to take radical responsibility for what you see around you. Liberating because it means you are never powerless. If your outer world is a reflection of your inner world, then changing your inner world changes everything. Think about the areas of your life that feel stuck right now. The relationship that never quite works out. The money that comes in and disappears just as fast. The opportunities that seem to go to everyone but you. Florence would look at each of those areas and ask one simple but profound question: what belief is creating this? Not what is wrong with the world. Not what did someone do to you. What belief, held consistently and deeply inside of you, is generating this outer experience? Because here is what she knew. The universe does not judge. It does not punish. It does not play favorites. It simply reflects. It takes whatever you hold most deeply in your consciousness and builds a life around it. If you believe deep down that you are not worthy of lasting love, the universe will reflect that belief back to you in every relationship. If you believe that money is hard to come by and always slips away, the universe will reflect that too. Not to be cruel, but because that is the law. That is how the mirror works. And this connects directly to what we explored in our last video. In that video, we talked about how Florence taught that your word is your wand. How the language you speak out loud shapes your reality. But today we are going one layer deeper, because your spoken words are only the surface. Underneath them are the beliefs. And it is the beliefs that are running the show. So why do the same patterns keep showing up even when you consciously want something different? Even when you have done the work, read the books, set the intentions. Why does life keep handing you the same chapter with different characters? Florence had a very clear answer to this. She said that most people are operating from what she called the subconscious mind, the deep layer of belief that runs underneath conscious thought. And it is this deeper layer, not your conscious desires, that the universe is responding to. You might consciously want love, but if your subconscious holds a belief that love always leaves, always hurts, always comes with a cost, that deeper belief is what gets projected onto your reality. The conscious mind says, I want a loving relationship. The subconscious says, but love is not safe. And the universe, responding to the stronger signal, reflects the subconscious belief. This is why affirmations alone sometimes feel like they are not working. This is why you can say all the right things on the surface and still feel stuck, because the words have not yet reached the belief underneath. In our last video, we talked about how Florence identified the enemy within, that undercurrent of doubt and fear running beneath your positive declarations. Today, we are showing you exactly where that enemy lies. It lies in your subconscious beliefs, the ones you formed before you even had the words to question them. Florence also identified something she called the darkness before the dawn, a moment, often the most difficult moment, that appears just before a breakthrough. She wrote, every great work, every big accomplishment has been brought into manifestation through holding to the vision. And she warned that the biggest test of faith comes right at the point when things look the most hopeless. How many times have you given up on something right before it was about to turn? How many times have you decided that something was not meant for you, right at the moment when the universe was preparing to deliver it? The pattern that keeps repeating in your life is not a life sentence. It is a signal. It is your inner world saying, there is something here that has not yet been seen, acknowledged, and released. And the moment you see it, truly see it, the pattern loses its power over you. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that there are only two forces at work in a human life, fear and faith. And whichever one you feed the most wins, she believed. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. And she contrasted this directly with fear, which she described as inverted faith, faith in the wrong outcome, belief in what you do not want. Think about that for a moment. Every time you worry, you are using your creative power in reverse. Every time you rehearse the worst-case scenario in your mind, every time you tell yourself it will not work out, every time you brace yourself for disappointment, you are not protecting yourself. You are creating. You are sending out a signal, and the mirror is reflecting it back. This is why Florence was so insistent about the words you speak and the thoughts you entertain. We talked in our last video about how speaking from the appearance, from what things look like right now, rather than what you are calling in, only feeds the appearance. Today, we are taking that one step further, because it is not just what you say out loud that matters. It is what you believe so deeply that it has become your default setting. She said, there is no power in evil. It is nothing. Therefore, it can be wiped out by the right word, the right thought, the right inner declaration. That is all it takes to begin tipping the scales from fear toward faith. And faith, for Florence, was not passive. It was not wishful thinking. It was an active, disciplined, daily choice to hold the vision even when the mirror had not yet caught up, to speak the word even when the evidence said otherwise, to trust the law even when the law felt invisible. She called this standing firm, and she said it was the most powerful thing a woman could do. So how do you actually begin to break the cycle? How do you change what the mirror is reflecting? Florence Scovel Shinn was always practical. Here are the steps she gave her students, adapted for the woman standing in her life right now. Step 1. Identify the pattern honestly. Look at the area of your life that keeps repeating. Love, money, career, health, wherever the loop is. And instead of asking, why does this keep happening to me? Ask what belief inside me could be creating this? Sit with that question. The answer will come. And when it does, do not judge it. Simply see it. Because you cannot change what you cannot see. Step 2. Trace the belief back to its root. Florence knew that most of our deepest beliefs were formed early in life through what we witnessed, what we were told, and what we experienced. When did you first learn that money was scarce? When did you first learn that love came with pain? When did you first decide that you were not quite enough? Finding the root does not mean reliving the pain. It means understanding where the program was installed so you can begin to uninstall it. Step 3. Replace fear with faith through deliberate declaration. Every time you catch a fear-based thought, replace it. Not with denial, not with forced positivity, but with a higher truth, a Florence declaration. Here are a few to begin with. For breaking patterns in love, divine love now dissolves and dissipates every wrong condition in my mind, body, and affairs. Divine love is the most powerful chemical in the universe and dissolves everything which is not of itself. For breaking patterns in money, my ships come in over a calm sea, under grace and in perfect ways. For breaking patterns of feeling stuck, I am now on the right path, doing the right thing, at the right time, for the right reason. Step 4. Hold the vision without attachment to the timing. This is the hardest step and the most important one. Florence was very clear that the universe delivers in its own time and in its own way. Your job is not to control the how or the when. Your job is to hold the what, the vision, the feeling, the knowing, and release the rest. She called this divine indifference, not caring, but trusting so completely that you no longer need to force the outcome. Step 5. Go back and apply what you learned in video 1. Use the word audits. Use the declarations. Use the practice of catching yourself speaking from the appearance. Because everything we covered there feeds directly into what we are doing here. The words on the outside and the beliefs on the inside, they work together. Change both and the mirror has no choice but to reflect something new. Florence Scovel Shinn gave women something rare and radical for her time. She gave them back their power. She said, "You are not a victim of your circumstances. You are not at the mercy of fate. You are a co-creator with the universe, and the life you are living right now is proof of that creative power. Whether you have been using it consciously or not, the patterns that keep repeating are not punishments. They are invitations. Invitations to go deeper, to see clearer, to choose differently. And every time you choose faith over fear, every time you hold the vision when the mirror has not yet caught up, every time you speak life over yourself instead of limitation, you are rewriting the story. You always have been the author." Florence just reminded you to pick up the pen. If this resonated with you today, share it with a woman in your life who is ready to break the cycle. And if you haven't watched our first Florence Scovel Shinn video yet, go back and watch it now. The two together will give you the complete picture. This is Soul and Spectrum, where healing meets purpose and every woman remembers who she was always meant to be. We will see you in the next video.